New at 5:30, we have new developments in the devastating story of Abdi Mohamud, the young boy who was found dead in his basement. He had reached out for help but ended up being murdered at the hands of his stepfather. Did the system fail this 10-year-old boy? News 4's Rich Newberg first raised the question of accountability back in May. He's here now with an update.
Jackie, today I learned that a citizens review panel in Erie County will receive all the files on the child's case leading up to his brutal murder by his stepfather. I've also learned a startling finding that went undetected by county workers.
Abdi tried to protect himself with his arms and his legs as this defendant mercilessly struck him again and again.
As the horrible details came out of how Abdi Mohamud bludgeoned his 10-year-old stepson to death, people wanted answers on how the system responded to little Abdi Mohamud's pleas for help a year earlier and during the time leading up to his murder last April. Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz has reviewed all the files, but the county and the state will not make them public.
We can't go into the details because we're prohibited by state law from talking about the details of the actual investigation.
But one crucial detail unknown to Erie County, according to Poloncarz, was that Abdi's home had been a daycare center licensed by the state of New York and operated by Abdi's mother. Other children were coming into a home where problems were known to exist.
If we had known that, there might have been greater scrutiny applied to this case than there was in the past.
A year before he was murdered, Abdi had called 911 saying, "Please come fast. It's a matter of life and death." Buffalo police responded and then turned the case over to Erie County Child Protective Services. Now I've learned all the files of this most unfortunate case will be turned over to a citizen review panel that is looking for answers.
If there are things in the system, in the structure, in the policies that in fact do not help keep children safe.
I had asked Ellen Kennedy back in May if her panel would investigate. She committed to it back then, but it has taken this long for Erie County files to be turned over to that citizens panel. Of course, you had the trial that took place, and the state also had to finish its own fatality report. So these things do take time.
And he was killed back in April, is what I was asking you.
Yes.
He was killed in April. So here we are months later, and Erie County never knew that there was a daycare center operating out of that house, which may have made a big difference in how they responded to this situation.
This is a real problem. There is not interaction between agencies and coordination sometimes between agencies. This is something that I'm going to address about this case at 10 and 11 tonight, Jackie.
It's just terrible to think that if they had known more, they might have been able to save this child.
Well, that's what Mr. Poloncarz said, that it may have been a more intense investigation had they known it was a daycare center.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll hear more from you then, Rich, coming up.